Is it fun? No. Okay, if you hear me holler, call for help. Hey everybody, welcome to the video, welcome to the channel. If you remember in the previous video, we got a bunch of stuff rounded up for a big salvage operation. Well, big for me, salvage operation we've got coming up soon and should hopefully be the next video. But before we get to that, I need to get some loose ends tied up out at my brother's property. So we're down here at Dirt Perfect's lot. I'm renting his Cat 304 mini excavator to put a culvert in. We're gonna make our own culvert with some of these tile cores we got back here, and we'll explain that process as well. And then later we're gonna take the 755 out so we can grade it all out with my homemade, with my what? Hi, how are you? My homemade road drag. That's what I'm trying to say. The only downfall to today is it is gonna be a high of 98. I know what you're thinking, Mike, 98's not too crazy. You're right, but I don't know if you can pick that up in the background. See, here in Indiana, that's not fog, okay? That's the humidity. No joke. It's like being in a swimming pool, and I almost have to wear goggles. It's just, she's thick, you know? It's gonna be a tough one, but I bet we can get her done. Fingers crossed the AC still works in this rig, huh? Oh yeah, it's got it. That's good. That's good. It feels like the AC works. Oh, that's gonna make today nicer. I don't think I'm actually gonna need that bucket, but you know, if I don't take it as soon as I get there, it's the first thing I'll need. It's the first time I've had the 304 behind this truck, so we may have to play with the load a little bit. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pull up to the fuel pump and put fuel in it, and that short trip will kind of tell me if I'm tail heavy or tongue heavy. I ended up taking it off and switching it back around, blade on that end, so I could come forward just a little bit more. But she's sitting pretty good now. Bucket strapped down, 2 chains, get a couple more chains on there, be ready to go. Well, we made it. I wish I'd had my magnetic mount because we walked a few times, but overall she did pretty good. We're gonna let her run, bring her core temp down just a little bit. It's been a hot minute since I've been out here. Let's see what, well, there's a problem right away. Water's crossing the driveway. Oh, the daggone culvert got all clogged up with sticks and stuff. All right, we'll clean that and swab that too. And we've got about 20 ton of chert rock sitting here too to lay down. I do believe I'm gonna get rid of this tree so I can shove that ditch uphill just a little bit. We'll run that ditch right around that post. Oh, hello there, friend. How are you? The burrs. We've got the burrs already. Daggone it, bud. And we're gonna put a culvert crossing right across this section, and then do a little bit of ditch work through there as well. And it's just absolutely beautiful out here. It's gorgeous. Basically just trying to get everything we started kind of tidied up and finished up with that culvert crossing and this chert rock spread so he can use it this fall for his hunting camp. Just as soon as I can remember what that gate code is, we'll get started on it. Go ahead and take care of this real quick. Get it cleaned back out. Definitely nothing fancy, but it should do the trick for us. So far, so good for the day, huh? Not bad. This tree here and this pile of brush, that's next. That way we can kind of push this embankment back just a little bit. Get the dirt, the dirt. We're gonna push the dirt over a little further that way. So I need to point a couple things out real quick. See this broken glass? Like that when we started, all right? Already there. However, I did just open the door, the window, and the roller fell off. What? It was a trap. There had to be a trap. All right. Anywho. Appears to be a full-on tree. Oh, so I was pulling that dead stuff, and it appears that dead stuff's got a grapevine attached to it. And the grapevine is attached to this dead tree, which started pulling this dead tree down. Fellas gotta pay attention, that's for sure. There we go. I do believe it is time to switch buckets before I end up breaking a pin on this thing. This 304's got a quick release. It's not too bad. Yep. He did put some new teeth on here not too long ago. They look pretty daggone good. The tooth bucket gets to those roots a little bit easier. And since it's a little bit more narrow, it doesn't put quite as much pressure on those pins whenever you're digging off the corner of it. under it, and then I push back on the back of the bucket so the bucket acts like a big lever. Try to pop it out of there. This one's gonna come out in pieces though, it's so rotten. There we go. Part of it. Well, this is what we call a tap root. Instead of having roots that spread out wide, it's got a root that goes straight down, and they can be tricky. In case you couldn't tell. My goodness. This is what I'm talking about by calling it a tap root. See how it's got that root that goes down? It's got some that go out, but that one that goes down is really what slows us down here. So we're just slowly getting the shape that we're looking for. Now long term, keep in mind, this is just a hunting camp back here. But if he ever wants to actually build something or make this a really good solid driveway for the long term, we're gonna have to rework the gate. That maple, that oak, and those two little scraggly maples will have to go, and we'll have to shove the whole thing uphill. That's the weakest point of the whole road at this point, just because of how narrow it is, but we're kind of locked in with where the gate's at. But he doesn't want to, and I don't blame him, put the time or money into reworking all that right now for just a hunting camp. So we'll get the entrance squared away and the drive back good enough that he can drive back in his pickup truck, and we'll be good for now. Let's go ahead and see if we can't get those culverts in. Here's looking at from this side. There's that oak I was talking about. You can see if we just took that out and reworked the gate, we'd be plenty wide to get the permanent ditch that we need for an axle road, because by the time you get out here, lots of room to work with. So hopefully you can make it out okay on camera. There's a little ditch there. That's just a ditch that runs down the hill. Well, that's where we're going to put that culvert across. I got tired of bumping into it a couple times, so it's gone. As long as that dead top doesn't come back, looks good. Shove that down the hill. That was not the goal. Making good progress. Pretty happy with it. This is where that ditch needs to be for the long run, and this is all cleaned up pretty good and feels really solid, which I like. Got that cleaned up as good as that needs to be. Give that a few months and you'll never know we were even there. That's just how fast the woods will take things over. But you can see if I stand in this ditch and you look right through, there's the gate post, and right through that maple is where that ditch needs to go. I think you can kind of see what I was talking about how those trees are going to have to come out in the future. And we're going to have to widen this gate approach to get it to do what it needs to do. But that's not going to be today, and that machine's not going to dig those stumps out. At least I'm not going to dig those stumps out with that machine. I think that'll be a good project whenever we build the custom stump bucket for the 555. We'll bring that out here. It's got a little bit more power than that Mini, and we can get those stumps and trees out. And we'll bring our little Vever welder out with my little gas generator, and we can add onto that gate and make it what it needs to be. But what we're going to do to make it work for the time being, we're going to switch back to the tooth bucket, and then we're just going to hug a trench as close to that as we can, to get up into that ditch. That way all the water can still make it down into the culvert. Very nice. Very nice. I am contemplating right now not getting the 755. Hear me out on my logic. The whole reason I won the 755 was the road drag to clean up the chert and the front end loader to help spread the chert out and get it down to where we're putting the culvert in, because we're going to backfill all the way around the culvert with some good chert rock. Whee! So that she's good and solid for us. That being said, it takes about an hour and a half, 2 hours round trip by the time I get there, get this offloaded, get the tractor, get everything ready. So even though it might take a little bit longer per trip with this to move the rock down to the culvert, I do believe we're going to be shorter time overall to just do it that way. We'll just have to track some buckets down. And that smooth face bucket holds a decent amount. All right, I'm done debating. That was called a decision. We're just going to do it all with the 304. Got distracted. How many comments you think there are that the bucket needs to be shimmed out? You think anybody's made a comment about the floppy bucket yet? I doubt it. I doubt anybody said anything. I like it. It gives me options. You know, I'm not locked into one thing here. I can do whatever I want with it. Well, I guess let's see if we can get that stump out of the way. I'm sure this won't give us any problems. Probably just pull right out. Okay, all right. Oh, neat. Can live down there now. All right, neat. Oh, you guys okay down there? You okay down there? Are you all right? Be there in a minute, okay? Just 1 second here. I am sorry about that. Let me track pack that in a little bit, dress that up, get those taken down. So I'm going to use for the culverts on my brother's property, we call these tile cores. They are the center pipe that they wrap all the perforated pipe around on those big giant rolls that you see guys like Dirt Perfect use whenever they're doing field tile projects. So we call them tile cores, kind of makes sense. They're 8 feet long. It's either 16 or 18 inches, I'm not 100% sure, 16 or 18 inches in diameter, and it's double wall. It's got the smooth inner lining and the ribs on the outside. So it's strong stuff, it's good material. The only issue is you got to get them to go together. Now, you could just butt them up and wrap something around them. That's an option. They probably make a coupler, but it's probably $100. An actual 20-foot stick of this stuff is around $400 nowadays. These are free. Farmer Chris just gives them away to get rid of them. You could probably find them in your area for 20 bucks or things like that as well. They're pretty handy, and I use them quite a bit. I'm going to show you how I stick these things together. It's a lot of work. And there's days where you wonder if it's worth it. But when you're doing a low budget and you got more time than money like we do for this job, it works out fine. I'm going to be using a chainsaw. It's my Husqvarna. This is my 55 Rancher. I've got my 372 with me as well because he said, and I can't see far enough back there, but I guess there's a situation further back involving his Harbor Freight tent. And I don't know if he's had the chance to take care of that situation or not yet. If he hasn't, and we'll just pick that up later. If he hasn't, we're going to run out there and take care of that for him too while we're here. I brought the bigger saw for that one. And I'm just going to give you a heads up. This makes a terrible sound, the cutting the plastic. So I'm just going to stick you on time lapse so you don't have to listen to it in person. Well, in whatever you are right now. So that took about 12 minutes according to the timer on the back of the camera. Is it fun? No. No, would I recommend it for a date night on a Friday? No, not unless it's with an ex that you've got something against, you know, maybe then. But I think there's rules in the Geneva Code, honestly, for this kind of work. Went through in a couple places, that's fine. We need this to move around and have some give because this is still the same diameter as that is. And we got to get them to together, you know. It's not pretty. What are you going to do with all that plastic, Mike? Oh, we'll pick that up. That'll get picked up and put into trash bags. and hauled off somewhere. I'm sure of that. Absolutely sure of that. Yep. So, because of the way we cut it, this is the uphill piece. Yes. I got to kind of see where this needs to go. Then we'll backfill that one. Then we can push it, you know? Not bad, huh? Fits in there pretty decent. Yeah, you got the holes on top, so you might end up with a sucking problem in the long run, but honestly, with this chert material, it's got so much clay, it'll pack tight around that. I've never had any issue with it. For what we're doing, I think it's gonna be fine. Oh, lovely. Very nice. You can see there's that one flap on the top hanging down, but where it matters on the bottom, she's all smooth. Looks good. All right. So I got the chert across there enough that the culvert's definitely locked into place, and he'll be able to drive across that in his pickup truck and four-wheeler, no problem. I'm gonna track pack and blade across this a couple times. Make sure she's locked in good. Then we're gonna go get the entrance all polished up, and then we'll head back towards the actual camp and see what he's talking about, what situation he's talking about, and if we can't get that handled. In the future, when we add more chert to the road, there'll be about 6 to 8 inches of chert across the top of this thing. All right, now we're just focused on getting it passable. This is a dollar at a time kind of project. Dollar at a time. So to fill in around that culvert, I was just pulling that stuff downhill and kind of getting it to the thickness that I needed here. Roughly, you can see it looks like a little motocross course right now, but she's about the thickness I want. So the point is, now I can just take the blade and smooth her out left and right and be done with it. Let's maybe shove these downhill out of the way first. So either he's taking the whole live edge movement to a whole new level with some live edge rafters on this Harbor Freight tent, or, and this is my suspicion, I think a tree fell on it. I'll be dipped. Yeah, seems stable. Yeah. All right. Well, let's see if we can get that off there without causing any more damage. Landed on this hill up here, which kept it from going all the way through the tent, which is good because I think his four-wheeler's right underneath that. All right, well, let's get as much of the top off as we can, leaving this fella there so we can get a bunch of weight off of it. And maybe we'll be lucky enough I can just pick it up and move. Just pick it up. Just pick it up. Well, this is the branch that's holding it up. Everything else is just kind of free floating. So we're going to cut everything else off of it. I'll pull that stuff up out of the way with the Mini. Cut those chunks out of there, so hopefully when I pull those away, there's nothing bumping or hitting. I imagine if it's dead enough to fall, it's probably not the most stable right now, you know. Well, that came out pretty well. No issue there. I'm as surprised as you guys. So like I said, I think that's the one that's holding the weight up, but I think the one on that tree is keeping it from wanting to roll. So I want to leave that one and that one. But every pound we can get off here is going to help my odds. So let's take this section off and then that section off over there. Kind of wonder if I can't pick this side up, if that side will stay attached long enough for us that we can just, you know, pick one end up, get it over there, and then on the ground. I don't know though. I think I might try. Probably ought to move this off first. Oh, sorry about your tent. No way, I don't think, but I mean, if it'll stay hinged over there. That something's catching over here. You guys, you stay put now. You guys just stay there, okay? If you hear me holler, call for help. Applying a little left side swing, trying to keep her steered towards the tree so it doesn't pull it. No idea what's behind me, and that's fine, I guess. What is behind me? Oh, tree. You guys would have told me. Whoa! Hold on now, bud. Hold on. I'm a little worried about this limb right in front of me here. All right. What a thing of beauty, bud. Very nice. Not bad. Little risky, but some of the best things in life are. Well, that went very smooth. Look at there, stacked right there, ready to go to cut up into firewood. See if we can get this thing loaded up and get out of here. I think that ought to do it fine. We got everything looking good there. Quick torque strap on this thing. These things are pretty handy. Not a partnership or sponsorship by any means. Actually, I bought them because I didn't think I'd like them. I wanted to see if I would or not. For small stuff, they're not bad. Anywho, let's hit the road. Made it back to the lot. Here's the perfect example. That's what those are. That's why we call them tile cores. It's the core to the tile. Pretty self-explanatory, but there's a visual for you. The last thing we need to do, I went up and grabbed 3 because I wasn't sure which one was going to be. Let's get a bolt back in there so that roller is fixed and it's ready to go next time he uses it. Well, I got these adjustable wrenches. I just don't know if they're too thick to fit in there, but we'll try them. See if that works for us. If I get it snug just a little bit, then I can open the door and get better access to it. There we go. Probably ought to tighten both of them. Oh yeah, they're both loose. Check the other side. Oh, the other side's good. That's it. The machine is back how I found it. Actually a little bit better because now it's got full of fuel and that window roller bracket is fixed. Next video will be taking, well, I don't know why it's down here. I'm so freaking tired. The next video will be taking the Mack, Dirt Perfect's Mack, his main lift at 555 and heading up to the church job. I'm super excited about it. The good news is it is supposed to cool off a lot by the next video, so I'm excited about that. I'm gonna try to get up from this knee without passing out, and I hope I'm lucky enough to catch you guys on the next one. Nope, we got it, we're good.